Good evening, wonderful people, great Biafrans, wherever you are. On the face of this very planet, we welcome you to another edition of Radio Biafra live presentation on this very day, Wednesday, the 26th day of August in the year of our Most High Elohim 2020. The time now is precisely 3 minutes past 7 p.m. in the blessed land of Biafra. And I presume, and correctly so, the same number of minutes past the top of the hour, regardless of where you're domiciled. If you are one of those who are lucky enough to be listening to us via IPOB Community Radio app in 154 countries and territories around the world, we welcome you. As I said earlier, as I've said in my previous broadcast, it is a low data usage app. It is way cheaper than any other means of listening on social media. Make sure that you and your friends, everybody you know, to download IPOB Community Radio. It is a registered trademark. Anybody who tries to copy it, of course, we will take them to court in Australia and in Europe. They won't be able to do it. Unlike Radio Biafra, that even DSS managed to copy and float their own version. IPOB Community Radio is unique. I will therefore advise each and every one of you to make sure that you have it on all your internet-enabled devices that are compatible with Android and also iOS, which is the operating system for Apple, which is iPhone and all the rest of it. I do welcome you sincerely. Of course, our mood is that of mourning, but we are proceeding because we owe it to the dead to make sure that Biafra is restored. That is exactly what we are doing. As I have also said in times gone by, our obligation to the dead outweigh that which we owe to the living. Therefore, once again, allow me to welcome you, and I do so by saying good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to some of you. As I have always said, and some people have mistaken for, should I say, pride or boastfulness, we are the largest indigenous broadcaster coming out of Africa. We are the largest mass movement anywhere on the face of this very planet. That is why our enemies are terrified, and that is why Efulefus are jealous, and rightfully so. That is why they will employ anybody and anything to try to see if they can slow down our relentless and our remorseless march to freedom. And allow me to reiterate this very evening that nothing can stop us. Absolutely nothing. We are determined. The more lives we lose, the more determined we become, not just to restore Biafra, but to avenge them as well. Very, very critical. My name is Nnamdi Kanu. I am the leader of IPOB, the largest mass movement on the face of this very planet Earth. And by the very special grace of the Most High, a servant of the wonderful people of Biafra. We are live and we are direct, and heaven, as always, will bear us witness. Because our hands are clean, we are whiter than white and whiter than snow. That is why we are where we are today. That anything we do, the zoo trembles. And they are in one almighty mess. You cannot defeat an army you cannot see. They must understand that. They claim they have intelligent military officers. But today we can assure them today that they are going to witness something they have never, ever, ever seen before. We are resolute and we are determined. And Elohim Chukwokika Biama will bear us witness. As I said, we are live and we are direct. And if you have not joined this very program, you have a lot missing. Before we go any further, we must pray as it is customary and right for us to do. Chineke na nke pụrụ ime ihe niile, Chineke nna nke na-edu ndị ya n'ụzọ ije. Onye anyị na-arịọ ka o si n'ihe ọjọọ bụ obodo ekwensu bụ zoo Nigeria wee wezuga ndị ya. Onye ọ bụ naanị ya na-achị. Chineke nna nke kere ihe niile ekere eke, nke anya mmadụ dị ndụ na-ahụ mana onweghị onye kere ya. Onye ọ bụ naanị ya ka mmụọ na mmadụ na-akpọ isi ala nye. Ihe niile ikere eke na-erubere gị isi nna nke ebere. Ọ bụ ya mere okwu gị niile ga-abịarịrị na mmezu. Anyị wee na-akpọku aha nsọ gị, wee na-aja gị mma, wee na-eto gị, wee na-ebuli gị elu, na-asị n'ime ọnọdụ anyị niile anyị ga-aja gị ma onye ime eluigwe. Anyị ga-eto gị ma kpọ isi ala nye gị. Anyị na-asị gị biko na otu na nsọpụrụ na ịja mma. Lekwe mkpụrụ obi ụmụ gị bụ ndị obodo ekwensu zoo memilara. Ka anyị na-arịọ ka iwe nabata na ndokwa gị na nke ebere. Ka iwe chebe ndị dị etu a. Ka ya nwee kọzuoro ka ha rabụ ndị nọ n'ime igwe. Ọnọdụ ụmụ gị nọ n'elu ụwa, onye nwe m na Chineke nna. Na ụmụ gị ndị a niile bụ ndị lara azụ, bụ ndị janjawid Fulani memilara, onye nwe m. Ka anyị na-asị biko lekwe ka ọnọdụ ha dị. Kwee n'ihi ya wee mere anyị ebere. Anyị mana anyị mere mmehie wee megide gị site n'okwu ọnụ, site n'echiche, site n'akparamagwa, onye nwe anyị. Kama na mmehie anyị akarịghị nke ndị ọzọ. Ahụhụ anyị nọ n'ime ya wee karịsịchaa. Anyị wee na-agabiga ihe niile dị iche iche, atamahụhụ niile dị iche iche, mkpagbu niile dị iche iche. Ndị ọjọọ wee si ebe niile dị iche iche wee pụta, bụ ndị janjawid tụrụ ime ha n'ala nsọ gị. N'ihe dị etu agba arụ, anyị wee na-arịọ gị eze ndị nsọ na ị ga-ekpochapụrụ anyị ndị a niile n'ezi omume gị. N'ihi na ala nsọ gị Biafra gị ahụ ihe ruru unyi na nke ebere. Ọbụladị mmadụ dị ndụ. Anyị wee na-arịọ gị ka i wee gbaa ụmụ gị ume, dịka nsi wee kwuo na ọ ga-ewe anyị izu ụka abụọ anyị wee mara ndị bụ ndị. Iwe gosi anyị n'ezie n'ezie na ọ bụ naanị gị bụ Chineke na nke usu niile nke ndị agha. Na anyị wee na-aja gị mma, wee na-eto gị, na-asị gị eze ndị eze biko ka okwu gị wee bịa na mmezu n'ime ndụ anyị. Ka Biafra wee bịa, ka anyị wee rụọra gị ụlọ ukwu na arọ Chukwu, wee jaa gị mma, wee too gị, wee kpọkuo aha nsọ gị n'ime mmụọ na eziokwu. Asụghị ngọngọ, atụghị egwu mmadụ ọbụla. Ka ọ ga-abụ mgbe niile n'ime ndụ anyị, ụwa niile gasị n'ezie n'ezie na ụmụ IPOB bụ ụmụ Chineke nna, na ala Biafra bụ ala nsọ ka ọ bụ onye nwe anyị. Iwe na-asị n'otuto na nsọpụrụ ga-adịrị gị mgbe niile wee ruo ebighị ebi. Ise ise ise. We are moving on relentlessly on this very evening. Of course, we are very sober, we are very reflective, we are still mourning our loss and those that the enemies took their lives on Sunday. They were not armed. We were not protesting, albeit that protest is not a crime. There was no form of agitation, but the enemies decided to kill your children. And it is unfortunate that some individuals, some ethnicities in the damnable zoological republic do not understand the game plan of the enemy. That is why we are always grateful to Almighty God in heaven. For the wonderful gift of revelation, discernment, knowledge, and reasoning that he has given to us. This very generation of Biafrans. It doesn't matter what we encounter, what we are going to encounter, ultimately victory is ours. I want our people to understand is that victory is ours. Nobody can take that away from us. Victory is ultimate. Are we going to suffer? Yes. Are they going to kill us? Of course they will. Are we going to kill them? Yes, we will. But eventually we are going to win. We always win. From nothing, look at where we are today by the grace of Almighty God in heaven, not due to anything that we have done or capable of doing. From nothing. This very movement rose from nothing. to be the force that it is today all around the world. Thanks to the grace of God Almighty in heaven, we must remain very grateful and give him every glory and adoration, every exaltation, every honor and every glory belongs to God and not to man. We are only here doing the bidding of heaven, that the will of God Almighty may be done in our lives on this very earth as it is in heaven. Our enemies must understand that we are ready for them. No death will go unpunished. And very, very soon, no harassment will go unpunished. I have placed the world on notice that we are not going to tolerate all this garbage again, because we are despised for no reason. We are hated by a people that we have served slavishly for centuries. Those that gave us the Bible, those that gave us Christianity, they turned around and are today colluding with Islam to destroy us. Colluding with Islam to destroy us. They don't want us to live. I have said it in secret after in the open. Britain do not want us to live, to survive as a race. They want to exterminate us. And they are using Fulani Janjaweed to do it. But they will never succeed. That we assure them. The order that I've given stands, and it will not be rescinded until Biafra is free. By virtue of what they did on Sunday, we are never ever going to stop until Biafra is completely restored, its full sovereignty restored. We are going to live like free people the way we were before Britain came. Britain is not God. They are not. Admittedly, they are a very progressive, conscientious nation. But unfortunately, they have evil people within them. They are the ones orchestrating this Islamization agenda. They are the ones driving forward this Fulanization, this Wahhabism, this very dangerous jihad. It is them. They are closet Muslims. They are. They want to overrun our land. And we are going to prove to them that God in heaven is with us. For everybody we lose, we will kill 100 of them. And as I've said before, their bodies they will not see. People say I should try and I shouldn't sound violent. I said, to hell with all of you. They are killing us. Every blessed day they are killing, they are arresting, they are molesting. Fulani things they can use their terrorism. The same way they defeated Hausa people and conquered them. The same way they crushed the Nupe people. The same way they took part of Yoruba land in Kwara State and destroyed them. The same way they took over Agbagi. The same way they took over Jugu. The same way they destroyed everywhere, all the way to northern Igala. They think they can do something to us. I want to prove to them that God, the same God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the same God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, the same God of Eri is with us. This very generation. We have gone back to who we are. And they cannot defeat us. It doesn't matter how many that come, they will fall on the right, they will fall on the left. And we march on steadily into victory. There is nothing they can do about it. Absolutely nothing. It doesn't matter how much as I told them, I published on my page before I came live on air. Our IPOB community radio app is listened to in 154 countries. That never happened between 67 and 70, never. People don't understand the power of media. They don't know how potent media is. Our minds have been conditioned over the decades. They have fine-tuned our brains over the decade to reason as foolishly as we are doing today. That is why the Janjaweed will have the temerity to come into our land and build their settlements in our forest. When you challenge them, they kill you. In broad daylight, they will come, the army will be firing at people in broad daylight and killing them, and the whole world keeps quiet. Because we have been conditioned to reason that way, but not any longer. Because this very broadcast tonight is being listened to all over the world. I said all over the world. Minimum on our app, 154 countries you can capture. That is only on IPOB community radio, not the rest of the platforms. That tells you our reach. our formidability, or should I even say preponderance. It doesn't matter how our enemies disguise themselves. They can issue as much notice as they like. They are Janjaweed, they will always misbehave because they're very foolish. They think because Britain gave them the zoo, Nigeria, they can do whatever they like. They can come out and kill, pillage, rape, and dismember people as at will, and nobody will ask them any questions because Britain gave them Nigeria to do as they please. But they are mistaken. People must understand why we are the way we are. For 50 years, we were very quiet. 50 whole years after the war, we kept quiet, hoping and thinking that things will change, that the world will understand our plight, that they will come around, to the understanding that, oh, these are gentle people, they are peace-loving people. Let us try and redress all the ills and the wrongs that we've done to them. Nobody said anything for 50 years. Instead, they kept subjugating us. They kept oppressing us for half a century. They continued. They did not stop. To repress and oppress to the point whereby, very blatantly in the open, they are doing things and saying to everybody, what can you do? That somebody who they claim was elected into office, died in office. That is the height of impunity. And that is why they are moving and pushing this agenda of Islamization and Janjaweedism. That because the death of Buhari emboldened them. Because Buhari died in office, they can get any idiot and put a mask on his face. Because of that, and all of you swallowed it. That is why that they have the guts and the temerity to be doing what they're doing. They frightened all of you into submission. Luckily for them, they have traitors who are within. Right across the south, even the Middle Belt, they have traitors, well paid and well financed. And they gave birth to rubbish. And we are seeing them today, and I can assure you they can never go. I swear to God in heaven, they can go free. And they know it. Ask the zoo, they will tell you what they're encountering. Even tonight, we will keep hunting. Non-stop until Biafra. I said non-stop until Biafra is restored. I said non-stop. And they know it. The order has been given. It can never, ever, ever be taken back. Now they will understand how serious we are. The world will now know how serious we are. That we've been very patiently, we've been waiting for over 50 years to recognize the injustice. But instead, they are piling more injustice on top of injustice. And you want us to keep quiet? You have to be dreaming. You must be dreaming, I assure you. We must brace ourselves for what is to come. They are moving about all over the place. If you are vulnerable, they will take you and they will kill you. That is the way the Fulanis behave. Because they are terrorists by nature. That is why they have 6 terror groups. Only them, 6 terrorist groups. Only Fulani formed 6 terror groups. To terrorize all of you, to kill you, and to make you submissive to their way of life. And it's not going to happen. Not in Biafra land. They can take anywhere else, but not Biafra land. That is why, for those of you who may be wondering why things are the way they are the way they are because the zoo is evil. The world knows the zoo is evil, but because of the apathetic nature of a black man, because of the limited reasoning capacity of a black man, because a black man is wayward in his analytical mind, so to speak. That is why things are the way they are. That is why things are the way they are with us. Some of you are in for a shock. Some of you are in for a shock. Because some of you see, as Obasanjo said, when you see what you're not supposed to see and fail to do what you're supposed to do, you will live with the consequences. But because we are black people, we do not understand the gravity of that very comment. He was speaking to us in proverb, or should I say in adage. Nobody was, very few people could discern what the man was saying. Now listen carefully, please. Governor Matawale enforces immediate use of Islamic calendar in Zamfara schools. Are you listening? Islamic calendar in a secular country, in a place where you pledge allegiance to the state. They are not even introducing, they are forcing Islamic calendar on the people of Zamfara. Which goes to show that we are not the same people. We are not one country and can never be. We are different. These are the things that ordinary a black person, a black man or woman that went to school, ordinary primary school, ought to be able to understand, but they do not know. Ask yourself this question. Why would a governor of a state in a so-called secular country created by a Christian country, mind you, Britain, so to speak, why would they have the effrontery to tell you that in their schools? So it doesn't matter who's in that school. If you're a Christian, if you practice Judaism, if you're a traditionalist, it doesn't matter where you belong. Once you're in Zamfara State, you now have to operate under Islamic calendar. And I want to tell you something. For some of you who are so stupid as to dismiss it, I want you to understand the implications of this very thing that they have done and why we are fighting this good fight to make sure that we are free. Some of you are daft until they slice off your neck. As I said before, I studied the history of slavery. When I was studying the history of slavery, I wasn't interested in who took who from where, how they were crying, how they were complaining. I was trying to interrogate the reason why we did not fight back. That only 5,000 Europeans can come to Africa and take away nearly 20 million people. I was trying to understand it. I was asking God, did you create them differently? How is it that when we saw these people, we were so frozen that they had to take 20 million of us, and we became slaves for offering free labor for 250 years. Any day you sit down and think about the implications of slavery and the role that fellow black people played in the enslavement of their own kind, their own children, that day you will begin to reason like us. That day you will reason like us. Ask yourself this question. Why was it possible that only 5,000 Europeans, they came to West Africa, they emptied West Africa, and not only that, they now turned around to tell us who should be in the same country with us? If that is not owning somebody, I don't know what I say. In fact, the creation of states in Africa like Nigeria is confirmation that a black man is inferior to a white man. Take it anywhere. Because you cannot go. You can never ever go to Europe and do the same thing. You can't. They will kill you there. Look at slavery and why slavery became possible. Then you look at the suffering of black people, you understand why the zoo is the way it is. You will understand why a minority group, an ethnic group that is in the minority, they are not indigenous to Nigeria. They are not. They came from somewhere else. They are not the original owners of the land. Ask yourself, how is it that people who are not the least educated, they move cattle from place to place? By moving cattle from place to place, they are able to conquer those with PhD. Ask yourself that question. That way, you will understand the way that a black man reasons in that part of the world. How is it possible that people that came from Futajalon, or moving only cattle, were able to overrun advanced civilizations? Because by the time the Fulanis came to take Hausa land from them and renamed Gobert to Sokoto, for Hausa civilization was centuries ahead of every other in West Africa. Great empires were built. The Songhai, the Krenempron, great empires were built. Ask yourself, how is it possible that people that built empires People that were manufacturing guns nearly 300 years ago, how was it possible that they were defeated by people who were driving cattle? Ask yourself that question. That day you will know how foolish a black man is, especially those from West Africa. How also people were there in the Fulanis came with their ordinary cattle. They proceeded to go and create traitors, efulefus within Hausa people. The efulefus, what the efulefu does is like a left jab in boxing. You keep jabbing somebody, preparing them for the correct, knockout blow. That's what they did. So the work of a saboteur is to soften the ground for the Janjaweed to come in. They did it to Hausa people with perfection. They succeeded. They succeeded without any issue. You know what they did again? They now convinced Hausa by saying we are Fulani Hausa. They spoke Hausa language. They convinced the foolish Hausa people to now join them in their campaign to conquer others. And that was what happened. They're still doing it till today. And IPOB is saying no. We won't allow it to happen. They are very, very clever. They recruit, they give you, they come to those of you, those of you with long throat, those of you who are avaricious, so to speak. People being ruled by the demon of money making. They come to you. They say, do you want power? Do you want wealth? The same thing that Lucifer can offer anybody. You want power and you want wealth? Yes. Now betray your people. Give them to me to kill. That's what they do. And these efulefus, you see them, you think they are normal, you think their brains are correct. You see them, they'll be doing the work. What they are doing is to soften your resolve. The Fulani used this trick on the Hausas and it worked. They went all the way to Yoruba, took a lot from them. It worked. They always look for efulefus. They always look for traitors within. They plant them. They make them governors. They make them senators. Their job is to make sure that the aims and objectives of the Janjaweed is accomplished. Now you understand it, don't you? Now you understand the way they operate. You understand the way they work. You understand the way their mind operates. That is Fulani Janjaweed for you. That is the way they are. And in this time and age is no different. It is not going to be any different. We are therefore warning our people. If you are a Biafran, you are in DSS, you are in the army or you are in the police, and they send you to go and attack us somewhere, and you foolishly come because you're one of those, you're one of the idiots they are using. And you think because you're a Biafran, you can be at the front to go and kill your people, I can assure you, you will die. There's an assurance. You are going to die. And forget all these things. You see them driving around in the afternoon, driving through market squares and going to my village and perambulating. I say, come out at night and do the same thing. That thing you're doing during the day is rubbish. Come out if your power, if you feel your army, your police, you have power and you have might, come in the night and do the same thing. And see what will happen to you. They think they are clever, but we are more clever than they are. We are far infinitely more clever than they will ever be. Today, tomorrow, and forever. We are warning them, and they must understand it. In Zamfara schools, they are operating Islamic calendar in a secular country. And some of you all interested is who is going to rig election for us. When it's done of my village. And sometimes I don't want to speak against the spirit, but I do ask God, why did you put me amongst these people who cannot reason very well? Of all the places in the world I could come to as a human being, you put me surrounded by people who cannot reason, by ethnic groups who are being obliterated, they don't know it. People who are dying, they don't know that their death is being caused by should I say, by them belonging to this contraption that the British created. You don't have to be Einstein to understand that. You don't have to be. If you tell me how you can be in a country, anywhere in the world, and one day a governor of a state wakes up and says, oh, from today, you're going to operate on the Christian calendar. Would that happen in the USA? Would that happen in the US? Or anywhere else that people are civilized? Will that ever happen? Will it happen in South Africa? Even ordinary Ghana. Will it happen in Ghana? The answer is no. Because you people, you don't reason. All you're interested is contract. How do I make money? You forget that these people, they operate like the devil. They are giving you something they know you want because they want your life and they will take it from you. You don't know that? Zamfara State Governor Bello Mohammed Matawale has ordered the immediate use of Islamic calendars in primary, secondary, and universities across the state. Universities as well. Universities across the state. And you're telling me you're in one Nigeria, you're in one Nigeria. You keep lying to yourselves. All of you know that the zoo is unworkable. You know that because of your avaricious nature, because you want money, because you're poor, because you're desperate, you will do anything for money, you will do anything to go and build houses in your village. Because of that, you sell your soul and your conscience. You are working for Fulani, you don't know it. As BBC Igbo is. BBC Igbo is working for Fulani. Only an idiot cannot say it. I warned you 4 years ago. I told you that people asked us, oh, why do you do what you do? We said, we are always on the offensive. Because one day BBC will come. Any of you who can remember, I told you that there will come a time when BBC will come. And that time has come. And they have revealed themselves, who they are. Unless you are intelligent, you won't know that BBC was working for Fulani. You can never tell, unless you have brain.